Hey there, welcome to my podcast. I'm your host Roz, owner of Roz Chandler Fitness, and I'm so glad you're here. This is the podcast where I chat to local inspiring women, share insights and have real conversations. Whether you're tuning in for the first time or you've been with us from the beginning, get comfortable, grab your favourite drink and let's dive in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode of the podcast. Hello Eve, welcome to my first podcast.
Wow, how exciting.
Nice to have you on and thank you for joining us. Just wanted to have a little chat to you. I get very inspired by what other ladies are doing, sort of with their careers and how they fit that in around their home life and their family and bits and pieces. So I wondered if you could just start by introducing yourself and what it is that you're actually doing currently for your career.
Oh, thank you, Roz. Well, thank you so much for having me on as a guest. Really exciting to come and chat with you. So my name's Eve Cale and my business is called Give Back by Eve. And I absolutely love running my own business, but it's not what I've always done. Before I had my children, I worked in an office, worked in marketing. But after I had my children, I just wanted a bit more flexibility.
Yeah.
And the business that I'm doing now has kind of evolved from something that I started doing when my children were little that was flexible around them. So after I left my job, I had a bit of a career break. I just wanted to be at home and look after them. I also wanted to do something for myself. And so I started originally working with a network marketing business called Phoenix Trading, which some of you might have heard of. And I've always been somebody who loves sending cards and gifts to people. And I came across Phoenix and really loved the card products that I found. And then I realised I could sell the products too. So I started doing that when my son was a baby. And along the way, I also started showing off some of the other products that we had in the range, as well as the cards. There was gift wrap as well. And I started showing people how to wrap.
Right.
With the gift wrap, because we're mostly known for the cards, but I sort of realised that actually if I showed people how to use the wrap, they would enjoy using it more.
Yeah.
And I would stand out a little bit. So I started doing that alongside what I was already doing. Had in my mind some ideas about what I might do with it. But it was only really when lockdown happened that I started doing more with it and realised there's this whole online world of people doing things and teaching things online. And so I started doing a bit more with the gift wrapping side of things online. And then last year, the business changed names over the years to something they were called Flamingo Papery. And actually they announced closure last year. 2023, actually. We're in 2025 now, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
And then when they announced closure, I decided that I would focus in on the gift wrapping and go my own way. So now I've got my own independent business.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's all going well, I hope?
It's going well. I mean, it is, as you know, running your own business, it is it might appear to be simple.
Yeah.
On the surface, but actually there's so much work behind the scenes to get things up and running. And that's what I've really spent the last year, 18 months doing, is setting things up. And there's lots more to think about when you're independent. I assume because you've done that transition as well, haven't you?
Yes.
And I love it. There's a lot going on to make it all seem like it's running really, really smoothly.
Sometimes, do you not feel a bit like a swan where you're trying it, when you see your clients and everything, you're gracefully like, oh, this is all happening, and then underneath you're like paddling away?
Yeah, there's definitely an element of that, I have to say. Yeah, there is. But I do love it. And I've always, even back at school, if you look, I found my record of achievement at some point, it's in the loft, those kind of maroon folders. Anybody who's sort of the same sort of age as me might remember them. And in it, I had written that I wanted to run my own business, but I don't think I really knew what it would actually be. But I think it just goes to show that if you've got an idea and you've got a passion for something,
Yeah.
then you can create a business from it.
Yeah. Well done. I love seeing all your little videos and things that you put out, and you're really up on Instagram a lot, aren't you? And doing all that. And actually, I think most people, they love a present when it's all wrapped up, don't they? We do all love it. It just becomes more exciting, I think, that you think, oh, this is more exciting. And it's nice that you're keeping that going, especially when I think this day and age when people might tend to sort of think, oh, I'll send something from the internet. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's definitely gives a personal touch. And I think that could make someone's day a bit more, couldn't it, if it's all presented well. So I think you're doing a really brilliant job. I'm loving seeing all your things, and you inspire me as well, actually, because I see you and I think, oh, she's there again. She's doing this, she's doing that. And that inspires me. So thank you for that, Eve. You keep each other going.
Yeah.
So obviously, like you said about you said you're really passionate about doing your business. Do you think it's the passion for it that keeps you motivated? Because sometimes it can be quite overwhelming, can't it? Would you say?
Do you know, I was thinking about this the other day, and chatting with some friends. We were on a walk actually, and we often sort of chat through with they're sort of self-employed as well. We go for some walks, and I was talking about it, and I was saying to them, I think that what it is I love about what I do is about connecting people. So even though it's about gift wrapping, actually the kind of the process of choosing a gift for somebody and giving them a gift, wrapping it nicely, it's all about that connection between our friends and family. And that's what keeps me going, is that actually the small things, the little changes people make, just help them sort of bring a bit of joy. Because, it's quite, sometimes it is a bit of a miserable world. There's a lot going on, isn't there? And this is a small way we can bring people a bit of happiness. Yeah,
definitely. I totally agree. I think it's brilliant. And like I've said, you do inspire me because you seem like you're really on it. Do you kind of find because I know for me, the first thing I have to do when I get up of a morning is redo my to-do list. And my to-do list is usually quite long, but I kind of find that that's the first thing I have to do in the morning, because then it clears my mind a bit and I know what I've got to focus on. But then obviously I've got the kids to sort out and they are older now. I know mine too are older, but still kind of need their mum around sometimes as they're going off to school and whatnot. Do you find that, how do you sort of approach your day with regards to fitting in your family and your work and whatnot?
Yeah, I think it's a constant challenge, juggling how personal and family life and work life all merge, especially working from home. So I think I recently in the last year moved from using a paper diary to an electronic diary, which to put everything like family and home all together. And I think that's made a huge difference actually, because I'm able to put things in and see what my day looks like. Easily. So I think that's how I sort of organize my time and put things in that I'm going to do, including my exercise.
Yes. That was my next question.
Oh, was it? Okay. Yeah.
What do you do for your wellness?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Roz, thank you, because I mean, your classes are what got me back into fitness after having my children, they're 10 and 13 now, but I think I first started coming to a class a long time ago. I can't remember how many years ago, a long time ago. And I think I first came across your class when it was I came to a charity club-a-size.
Right. Yeah.
Which got me into sort of coming along. And that was the first kind of classes I sort of did. And And then as my children have got older, I've had my time sort of is a bit different. The time available to you is different.
Yeah.
So I find it more difficult to do a class in an evening because they need me around to take them places, pick them up. So I prefer doing exercise in the morning. So yeah, the 15-minute classes are my sort of favourite ones, and I started doing those in lockdown.
Yeah.
With you, and now I tend to do them on catch up when I can fit them in the mornings. And then the other things that I do are walking with friends or running. So I've got back into running, which I used to do in my 20s. I'm now 45. So I had a big gap of no running after the children, but recently in the last few years got back into it.
Yeah. Have you got any, anything in the pipeline for any, half marathons, or are you aiming for anything like that, or do you just kind of do runs for yourself?
Well, I mean, to begin with, I was just sort of running for myself, but then I did just to get back into it. But I last year I did do a half marathon again, which I haven't done since my 20s.
Oh, well done.
So I first got into running and I did Bath Half Marathon in 2004. And so I decided that I would do it again as a 20-year anniversary.
Well done you.
And I did do it again last year. That's what I trained for. And then
that's awesome.
Quite a lot slower. Not that I was particularly fast in the first place, but definitely slower than before. But it's not about speed. It's just about the goal for me, just the achievement of doing it and keeping fit and well. And I like a goal.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it again.
Well done. What, next year, this year?
This year, 2025, yeah. I'm in the middle of training for it at the moment.
Oh, well done. I do sort of get where you're coming from with the goal thing. I mean, I'm obviously of my business, we talk about goals a lot. And sometimes I forget to get my own personal goals because I'm so busy worrying about other people. But it is important. I think if you have got that, I mean, Teresa and I have just signed up for the Alzheimer walk, Stonehenge, half marathon, but it's a walk, not a run.
Yeah.
And already it's like, right, we've got to get out, we've got to get that walking in.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. I think having those goals, people sometimes think, oh, I can't possibly manage a run or, but if it's little things like the walks or even just your own, put your own personal goals, couldn't you? And then like you say, okay, I'm going to all raise some money for charity or whatever it might be. If that's something that, do you do yours for charity or do you tend to do it?
I didn't actually do this one for charity. I've done lots of charity fundraising with like walks and runs and things over the years. But actually last year I decided not to do it for charity, but just to do it for myself.
Yeah.
Because first of all, I just wanted a break from the fundraising side of things because it's a different focus.
Yeah.
And I just was focused on literally getting around and doing that and making sure I did it. But I think it's finding something that works, that's going to motivate you, because different things motivate different people.
They do.
And if fundraising is going to help you, then I think that's good.
Yeah. Although it can have sometimes that negative pressure, can't it, of people think, oh, I've got to raise a certain amount of money or whatever, like you say.
Yeah.
What works for you. But I think that's awesome that you've done that after that big gap and got back into it. That's fantastic. It really, really is brilliant. So how do you see your business going in the future? Have you got any more plans or do you kind of work on a day-to-day?
Well, I mean, I do. I mean, I want to grow it online, really. So I do workshops in person. I'm nearby you, obviously, in Chippenham. So I do workshops across Wiltshire, but I'm trying to grow my sort of online side of things. So I teach online classes now. And I've got a membership of people who subscribe and they get a class every month.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So my kind of focus is on growing the online side of the business. Yeah, and just keeping. I mean, the whole reason for having the business in the first place was to be flexible and be around for family, and that's really the focus, is to grow it in a way that means I can still do that and do all the other things that keep us going and keep us motivated.
Yeah, I know. I agree with what you said earlier about the lines blurring a little bit, especially when you're working from home. That is one of the challenges that I struggle with, is that, because I've got my phone and people are WhatsApping and stuff, and sometimes I have to really just put it to one side, and otherwise I could be on there all day. It's hard, isn't it? It is hard, but also kind of rewarding, because then, especially when people send you nice messages, that's always a nice thing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
So
it's worth it.
Definitely. So if anyone was thinking of well, I just want to just have a change of career, what would your one top tip be if somebody wanted to sort of change what they were doing? Because we get to a certain age, don't we? And
well, that's a good question. Well, what I think I've learned, especially from working with lots of people online, is actually what you might think, oh, I'm not an expert in anything. I don't walk. What could I do? But actually, you probably have got lots of things that you do that other people don't know how to do. So what's the thing that people pick your brains about?
Yeah.
And maybe you've actually got a business idea in there and you didn't even realize it. Yeah. I mean, here I am. I've made a business out of showing people how to wrap gifts. So I think, you'd be surprised at the smallest thing that you don't think is something you're an expert in. You probably actually are. So yeah. So have a little think of those ideas and just go for it, really.
That's it, isn't it? I think I remember when I first started my franchise. Now I'm coming into my 19th year now, which is quite scary. But when I kind of really wanted to do, I always wanted to do fitness, and I wanted to do it. And I was in an office job like you. And then I couldn't think about failing, because every time I started to think, oh, what if it doesn't work? I sort of lost my mojo. I had to just almost imagine that it was going to work. And I had to then say to myself, what's the worst that can happen? I just try and get another job somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? That's how you kind of have to play. I don't know if you play it like that in your head, but you kind of have to just imagine doing it.
I think so. I think there's a lot of visualization that goes into like feeling successful or not. I think that there's a lot of work on like the feeling like an imposter as well. That can hold you back, can't it?
Yeah, it can.
But there's
on a daily basis.
Yeah, I mean, it's something. I definitely, it's one of these things that goes up and down, doesn't it? Some days you feel more confident and successful than others. Some days you doubt yourself more, but
yeah, and I don't know if some days as well, if it happens with you, Eve, but some days I have a big to-do list and I probably only get a little bit done. And then another day I kind of get my to-do list done and maybe do a bit more. Yeah. I try not to beat myself up on the days that I don't quite manage it, because I think that can be just a completely negative thing, can't it?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of a to-do list where you write down what you did do.
That's really good advice. Yeah, maybe I need to switch that around.
Yeah, so because sometimes you can feel like you didn't really achieve anything, and actually, if you write down what you did do, out of all those things that you could have done, actually you did, even like your walk or your class or whatever.
Yeah, that's a really good way of looking at it. Really, really good way. So just to finish off, I've got some just really silly questions here, and I'm going to try and introduce these 3 questions to each of my podcasts and see what people come up. So it's a rapid fire.
Oh, right? Okay.
You just got to decide. So they're just quick, fun and light-hearted questions. So tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Coffee. Morning or night owl? I think you've answered that one.
Morning.
Morning.
Yeah.
And your favourite travel destination?
Oh. Well, I've just recently, we went on a trip to Scotland to the Isle of Skye last year. And that was just so beautiful and amazing. So.
Wow. Lovely. Oh, I'll have to pick your brains about that another time, I think.
Well, I'd love to talk about it. It's amazing. Yeah.
Well, we'll have to get you on again, Eve. It's been really lovely to talk to you today. Really, really lovely. I've loved it. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely. It's been brilliant. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. My first podcast guest, can't speak. No, well, I just wish you all the best, Eve. I'll see you again, hopefully online at some point. If I don't catch you, because we do the networking sometimes, don't we, when I can get there. So I might see you there.
Yeah.
But, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. Have a lovely day. Go and get that to-do list done.
You too. Thanks so much.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.